Hey everybody out in Trekland. Can you believe it? Once again, it's time for a new season of my favorite Star Trek-based improvisational group here in Los Angeles. The Improvised Generation. It's season 5, and we've corralled kind of an impromptu away team here to talk about it. Let's see what's going on. Captain, why don't you tell us, for those who are just now picking up the story, what's up with the Improvised Generation? What is it all about?
Okay, well, my name is Eliza Pearl. I play Captain Georgia Thompson in the Improvised Generation. We are a narrative improv ensemble here in LA, and we perform hour-long live improvised plays in the style of Star Trek: The Next Generation. We have our own characters, we have our own ship. We even have our own canon because this is season 5 and a lot of stuff has happened to all of our characters.
And I love those wacky uniforms you're wearing today.
Oh, today? We are Star Trek t-shirts.
We're just trying to blend in.
Yeah. Right.
We're also fans of the show.
Yeah.
So.
Here in 2019, you're going incognito, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
we're in the cities today.
Right. Yeah. No, that's what's impressive is because every show you're in costume. If you're playing an alien or another character, there's an improv conceit that you do for that. But basically, everyone has their uniform per job, per rank, per backstory, per, like you said. But each night there's not even like an arc that you're trying to get to even, right? It's
all improvised.
Blank slate.
Some people see the show and swear that we have an outline or something or a format. We don't have any plan. There's no map, there's no plan. We practice doing scenes together. We practice with character development. We practice with action and upping the stakes and being on the ship and all of the different tools that we need for the show. But we don't practice doing a show before we do a show. Right. Whatever happens is what happens in the moment, and it's never repeated again.
Yeah. Now, this is only a small crew call. So, Amanda, I'm jumping in. So you've got the handy shirt there. There's the whole crew.
I do.
Right there.
Thompson, Dadman, Vina.
That's you.
Scott. Oh, I'm Vina. Yeah.
Yes.
Scott.
That's right.
And then we'll skip Boots, Klin, Denton, and Culverson, and Snow to go to Chulak.
Yes.
Because Chulak is always and Chulak.
It's kind of like, and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But no, let's go around the circle and get everybody introduced that we haven't already.
I'm Amanda Troop. I play Lieutenant Commander Ilaria Vina. She's Betazoid. She was abducted by the Borg. She still has a Borg implant in her head, which greatly amplifies her telepathy and is why she can't use it because it hurts people. It gives them headaches and makes them throw up.
Oh.
Kind of like alcohol. I'm Paul Hungerford. I play Jack Deadman, Commander Jack Deadman, aboard the USS McGinley. He's first officer, so he follows the orders of his captain and cares very deeply about this ship and the safety of everyone aboard.
Yes, and like other first officers we know, has gone in and out of beard wearing.
Yes, my affectation with beards. Yes, yeah, he had a pretty mighty beard last season.
More than nautical, I would even say.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Okay, I'm going to do this.
I'm Rob Ullett. I play Counselor Chulak, and the Vulcan, obviously very serious and focused, but I have a very expressive interest in human emotion, and so I'm very curious about it, and I sort of push my own Vulcan stuff aside and want to really delve into learning how to be happy and sad and fearful and learning about all the human emotions and how to bring them forth in myself.
Yeah, and from what I've seen at times, amazingly so. And Doctor?
Hi, I am Scott Palmason. I play Dr. Alistair Scott, Chief Medical Officer aboard the McGinley. Dr. Scott is very much inspired by the other doctors of the Trek world. A lot is taken from them in terms of the medical knowledge and the the style of each character and how they're written. But he is due to an injury when he was young, he's got like 40% bionic parts, so that's an interesting little twist that comes back a lot. 4 or 5 episodes may go by without it ever being mentioned, and then suddenly it's like the middle of a whole episode to have that. So yeah, Dr. Alistair Scott.
And Liz, I just kind of jumped in on you, but we didn't give you a chance to shine for a second.
I am Eliza Pearl. I play Captain Georgia Thompson, and Captain Thompson is kind of, I like to think of her as a mix between Janeway and Kirk. She has the caring sensibilities of Janeway and is super protective of her crew. And then she sometimes just steps out and like punches a dude like Kirk. And especially if she
goes all cowgirl.
Yeah, she goes like mama bear on anyone who messes with her crew.
Yeah.
And yeah, cowgirl, however you want to call it. She has a streak of Kirk in her.
I was twisting cowboy there.
You know, and you mentioned it earlier, but the reason these characters are not, people say, well, I thought you were improvising Star Trek The Next Generation. We are trying to do it in the style of, and the reason we did original characters is because that show exists and we respect that work that was done and we value that work, and we're just playing in that universe. We try to take the ideals of that show and take the arcs of that show, what they considered arcs of that show, and apply it to our own storytelling. So we're telling completely original stories with a completely new crew. The ship might look a little similar in our promotional material, but overall, the idea is that it's happening in that universe. So these are all completely new stories with all of these characters interacting in such a way.
24th century-ish, and you all do. There's so much talk about canon, but I mean, any Trek fan who comes and watches an Improvised Generation show will come away smiling. But also, I mean, you all are self-referential too. If someone strays a little bit, someone else will pull them back in a nice way, or correct the story, or not correct.
We'll just
because
double
it's
down
improv.
on it,
Yeah.
too.
Right. Or texture
Whatever is offered, it becomes the thing. So, yeah, if someone says that there are betazoids who like to hunt giant elephants, that's true now.
Yeah.
In our show, we deal with that. Like, yep, that is correct, and then we deal with it. We unpack what that means, and since it's improv, it becomes that's where the story comes from. That's where the sense of play comes from.
I would also argue that the TNG at times you're watching an episode and then out of left field there's something that feels completely like, where did that come from? I think that's kind of the fun of that show is it's not out of genre for like us to be starting a show one way and then something completely blindsides us and we go, well, now that's the thing. Because in the exploration of space, this crew on the show doesn't know what they're going to run into. So the unpredictability of space, I think, plays well in an improv show.
Absolutely.
It is. And so every show, you start off with a word from the audience. What is it? What's your conceit?
This year we're focusing on, we've done a couple of different iterations of what we're getting from the audience. This year, just a word. So we're just kind of making it we're not relating it to like, wait, what's a word you've never heard in Star Trek?
Yeah.
Or what's some other random statement to try and get our juices flowing. Instead, it's just a word. Because I think, inside baseball kind of a moment, it gets us out of our head a little bit and allows us to just react to the word and see where that takes us. And just in reference to what you were speaking in regards to other people or people coming to see the show who may be Star Trek fans or may not be Star Trek fans, just because we have canon and just because we have a history as a show, just as you might drop into I've never seen this show, what is this? We make it easy for the audience to understand who we are and what our relationships are very quickly, so that people feel engaged with the show and they feel connected.
You do not have to walk in with your Trekkie cred card.
No.
Walk at all. It's very accessible.
You can bring it.
You can also have no Star Trek experience at all, but because it's an entertaining show, we're going to tell a fun story, and you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or you can be Trek adjacent and bring a friend who's not at all and still have a good time.
We've had many people after our shows come up to us and say things like that, like, I had never seen an episode of Star Trek, and now I want to go watch it, but that was awesome. So it absolutely is accessible.
Oh, how does that feel to be inciting people to go take a look at Trek?
It feels amazing. Like I almost called you Jack.
It's okay.
Paul says, he's my number one, so I think of him in character all the
It's the
time.
greatest job ever.
But as Paul said, we revere Star Trek, and Star Trek: The Next Generation has, for all of us, been a really huge influence on our lives as actors, as writers, as performers, and as people. So it's been such a joy to kind of like just create a little tiny part of that sandbox for ourselves while honoring what the show has
Right.
already done. And if we can ever create new fans, that's like, oh my goodness, it's wonderful. We're spreading the love of Trek.
Yeah.
Well, that vibe certainly shines through everything. I mean, you're obviously trained in improv, and that's dominant, but it's the marriage of those two worlds and what you can do. But that said, this is the 5th year. You have recurring characters. You don't know where they're going to be by the time the show's over that night. How long is the season?
We do 8 episodes.
8 episodes starting March.
Starts at March 3rd is when
Yes,
we open.
we
March
should
3rd
mention
is when we
that,
open at
right.
7 p.m. on Sunday, March 3rd. We run for 8 consecutive Sundays all the way to the end of April.
I think the 28th.
28th sounds about right.
Okay.
You can get tickets online at improtheater.com. But now I forgot the question.
Oh,
That's
well, I think that was the question.
Great.
Yeah, that was the
Well,
question,
it's-
and I didn't mean to wrap it up yet, because I wanted to say after 5 years, it's improv and fresh every night, but you've got your characters that you've
Yes.
got your own individual and your relationships, and it'd be too much to get into that here. We've hinted at some of it tonight, but what's 5th year? This is your 5-year mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not actually, but I mean, you hopefully have many more.
Our continuing mission.
But continuing mission, yes, in next gen style, where no one has gone before. So, what is there anything on the? I mean, yes, every show is fresh, but you do keep track of kind of a vague arc and a vague events have consequences down the line,
Oh, yes.
right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's lots of different developing relationships that have come and gone between the castmates. Currently, myself and Lori, who plays Mara Culverson, the nurse, were sort of swept up in a relationship, and we've only sort of touched on it.
And Mara is half human, half Klingon.
Yeah,
Yes.
sort of have
Yes.
And so I think there's a lot of stuff for her and I to really kind of like still work out and play with. I think everybody has those relationships that have come and gone, or we haven't really fully explored yet. I mean, even a lot of us, the characters, even though we've been working together for so long, necessarily haven't even shared a lot of stage time together yet. So I think there's even just in that there's lots of new relationship to explore still. And we could probably do this for another 5 or 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
really the key is the word relationships,
Yeah.
because that's what we're improvising. We're our characters are who we are, but it's how we feel about each other. It's how we relate to each other. It's the experiences that we've gone through together that affect that relationship, and we start to let the emotions of that event take place and we explore it, and that's where the storytelling starts to deepen. For me as an artist, as an actor, an improviser, I get to work with these talented people and we really try to dive into the story emotionally and see what happens to that relationship, and we don't know what's going to happen, and that's the excitement and the danger part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that said, you've got a couple of goals for season 5. We were talking about one. Guests.
Yes, I was just going to say we're throwing a wild card in there because, yes, we all know each other, but we're bringing in absolutely new guest stars to our show. So people that some have done a little guesting with us, some are completely new to the show or even new to improvising this style, and we're really excited to sweep them up in our Trek world and also to see like what are they going to throw at us,
Yeah.
because that's going to
Yeah.
be a very fun twist. These new minds, it's so exciting.
Yeah, much like our love for Trek and our love of spreading it, as you said, I think we also love improvisation, and we love being able to share improvisation with other people and connect with them, and with different artists, and some people who aren't improvisers,
Right.
who are just coming on stage with us because they're just friends of ours, or they're fans of the show, or they're like, hey, I think this is really cool. How do I do this? I want
Right.
to do it with you guys.
Entertainers in other realms, maybe not improv trained.
Exactly.
Yeah, right,
Exactly.
right, and have that. Wow. Well, I'm excited. So
Yeah.
let's run through the details again. If I haven't, there's not anything else to cover. I think.
Well, you asked about some episodes earlier, some of the things we've done.
Oh, right.
We did a mirror universe.
Absolutely,
Which we've never
yes.
done before, which was very fun
That was
and
so
terrifying.
So that's hanging out there.
It's out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we record a lot of our shows, and you can watch them online. I think it's YouTube.
I think it's YouTube/Improvised Generation, something like that.
Yep, and you can find out more information about us at Improvised Generation, right? It's the Twitter account.
We're on Twitter at Improvised Gen, Improvised Gen, GEN,
Yeah.
and then I think it's the same on our Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. Well, we'll run all that too.
Oh, thank you.
After this.
And
Absolutely.
so the shows are March 3rd at 7 p.m. at Impro Studio in Los Feliz. You can get tons of information at improtheater.com.
Right. And
IMPROTheater improvisedgeneration.com.
Which is the home of about 47 different genre styles of improv groups and
At
troops.
least.
Yep.
Yes.
You've got a glow improvised show that these ladies are in, which is called Glam. They just closed, but keep an eye on their website. It'll tell you exactly.
Well, I mean, everything from Game of Thrones to Jane Austen
Yep.
to, I mean, it just runs the gamut.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're fans of something, you'll probably find
And-
an improv group here at Improv Theater.
Yeah, and at every Saturday night we improvise a completely improvised play called Play Improvised. Or Play Unscripted. I'm saying it wrong. Play Unscripted. Play Unscripted. I'm
Yeah.
crushing it when it
Play
comes to
unscripted for me. Yeah. Okay.
Play
Anyway,
Unscripted for me. All right, Misty.
yes. Like the way we were. So season starts.
Yes.
March.
March 3rd.
Yes.
7 p.m.
Be
Sunday.
there. Here in beautiful downtown Los Feliz.
Yes. Get your
Here in Los
tickets.
Angeles. Yes. Make a trip to LA to see
Sure.
Improvised Generation. Well, guys, you will also be impressed by the full opening title credits. I mean, the teaser, 5 acts ish.
Yeah.
Closing. It's amazing. Any Trek fan, any human being will leave with a smile. You will be giggling to yourself if you're a Trek
Any
fan.
humanoid.
Any
Yes.
humanoid.
Yes.
Any humanoid. Yeah.
Anyone.
Well, guys, I don't have to say it, but good luck on season 5. And what's that greeting you all say?
Live long and prosper.
Oh, that one. Yes. Okay.
Peace and long life.
Peace and long life.